Hey there, I'm Mark from Spectrum Pulse, and today we finally have from Fat Dog WOOF. I've been hearing buzz behind Fat Dog all year, and yet I haven't been quite sure where I fall on them. I heard about him first on Bandcamp, with the kooky theatricality catching some viral attention in certain spaces, to say nothing of the live reputation they were building as an opening act, outshining the headliners in energy and presence. But a couple reviews and that Viagra Boys connection did give me some pause, pardon the pun, but it's near the end of the year, this has been on my backlog forever, I wanted to give this UK act a proper shot, and well, it's the sort of debut where I'm tempted to simultaneously overthink them, but also say, oh, this is not that deep at all, where you fuse the blunt, bellicose howls from frontman Joe Love, kind of reminiscent of Joe Talbot of Idols, with these buzzy, grinding electro-punk two-step grooves, even before the strings and the horns and the auto-tune and the operatic backing vocals are slathered on in order to ramp up the camp and the theatrical bombast. From the mounting, pulse-pounding dread driven off the hi-hats and horns on Closer to God, to the demented nightmare polka of Running, to the grinding and careening of King of the Slugs that actually uses its extended runtime to embrace some haunted, grotesque glamour, especially with that hammering percussion in the final third. So yeah, the baseline appeal is extremely obvious. Enough embrace of new rave and a smattering of EBM with demented silly flair, where if the grooves hit with enough impact, this is gonna work. Putting aside some questionable production choices like the shrill, weedy synths across Wither, so why does it feel spottier and less convincing than it really should? Well, I think we gotta start with the themes established on the opener, Vigilante, despite having one hell of a driving crescendo coming off that spoken word. That eternal fat dog as an animalistic force that has existed since the beginning of time, then feeding into man's own animal instincts, with every step taking you closer to the grave where you better cling to whatever paltry success you have in life before it all comes crashing down. And Clowns highlights that that's just about true for everyone else. King of the Slugs is not too far removed from that nihilistic reality, and Running captures that desperate, manic, likely coke-infused charge, where any moment of more yearning sincerity is cruelly undercut, like the Karate Kid 2 joke puncturing I Am the King, which with the aching strings and the symphonic vocals, it otherwise has the most striking melodic moment on the entire album. I mean, between that and Clowns, there is some lingering breakup subtext that I kind of wish was developed or commented upon at all. So it all underscores the thought of man does not matter, the dog is eternal. And you know, I'll be blunt, that single-minded nihilistic irony creates a really awkward and borderline kind of obnoxious contrast with the broad camp of the execution, because it presents every decision as this wild why not goof, and eventually you're gonna need that second joke. It's weird the Viagra Boys parallel is very stark, and at least for me, that's not exactly a compliment. It's also where Fat Dog really pales in comparison with an act like Idols, where even if you thought the sloganeering of that band got old or stupid or it didn't stick, Talbot sounded way more committed, and there were added lyrical, socio-political layers in which Fat Dog only kind of glance at. I've been saying for years, what you say or do ironically often has a kernel of truth to what you actually unironically believe, and putting aside how many of these songs just kind of feel underwritten, owing a lot more to their electronic roots where the repetition might be part of the point, once that nihilism is in such focus with Fat Dog, I don't find it anywhere near as fun. I can't even say there's a strident feeling of release here, because if your higher concept is that eternal, half-jokey, half-ironic beast, I mean, there should be more focus on that carnal rapture and hedonism, rather than emphasizing how often you cannot escape. I don't know, I guess this is where the abbreviated length might be a strength. It's just over half hour long for 8 tracks plus a quick outro, but it feels shorter than that. But you know, if you don't have any more ideas that would work, but again, it also highlights precisely how much mileage you can get out of that one joke. But in short, you know, I really want to like this more than I do, but there is something about Fat Dog's energy that doesn't fully click for me. I rarely indulge the whole turn your brain off critique because there is so much great punk, rap, metal, and more that bangs really hard and enables you to actually use your brain and think. But you know what, in that turn your brain off lane, I could hear this clicking if you're just running on pure two-step adrenaline, but the irony and nihilism and kind of weak humor doesn't hit that hard for me. It feels like a meme that was stretched to its breaking point, point. And you know, if you're looking to just take this on for sheer kooky momentum, it is good fun. I'm fine recommending it on that basis, but this dog ain't running much farther. At least not on this. So we'll see where it goes from there. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. If you want to see more, please be sure to like, share, drop comments, subscribe. I can imagine this review might be a bit polarizing because this album has done a lot of numbers among certain circles. I know that there's a lot of folks who are going to be real surprised I did not like it that much, but hey, I gotta be honest, I really wanted this to click more than it did, but when you get into the content, it's just not really there, and what's there I'm not sure I like. But beyond that, anything else I might be able to do to improve my presentation, I'm all ears. And if y'all want to get involved in helping support the channel beyond buying my merch, the links to the YouTube memberships and also Patreon are up there. Right now the schedule is closed until the new year, but you can also go there to support the channel, argue with me on Discord, the options are available. Once again, don't feel obligated, tough times, just pointed it out. But beyond that, I'm Mark, you're watching Spectrum Pulse, and I'll see you next time.